here we are with Piers Corbyn in Portobello Road, the local Greggs, and we're making this video really to speak to people in Leave voting areas of the country who are traditionally Labour. The reason why specifically to interview Piers about this is because, as those in the know, Piers is a supporter of leaving the European Union and campaigned to leave the European Union during the referendum. And even recently he's been campaigning on the same issue. So what would you say first of all to those people in the north of England who voted Brexit and are unhappy the way things have gone? They think they've had their vote stolen. What would you say to them?
Well, it's going to be a long process. People imagined it would all happen quickly, but the European Union will put obstacles in the way all the time. So I don't think you should treat this as the Brexit election, which is what the Tories want you to do. You see, what they put forward anyway is a fake Brexit, which is worse than Remain. So anybody who reads what they're saying would actually prefer Remain than their so-called fake Brexit.
I saw in the news that Conservative Party supporters or members were polled on this, and they said they'd be quite happy to see the breakup of Scotland and Northern Ireland from Britain if it meant you could get Brexit done. It's a sort of, what do you think of that?
Well, I think that's ridiculous. I mean, a big thing that's wrong with what the Tories are doing is it does start to break up the United Kingdom, and it hives off Northern Ireland. It's basically a land grab by the European Union, and it would leave Britain controlled in many respects by the European Union, but without having a say.
But doesn't it also mean, in a way, the dynamics certainly between Boris Johnson and Donald Trump, and Nigel Farage actually and Donald Trump?
Of course.
Jeremy's been talking a lot about, going into Trump's hands and all that sort of thing. What do you make of that?
Well, I think it's true. But Boris and Farage and Trump together are a dangerous trio to take away democracy, and in the end will be favouring monopoly capitalists doing what the hell they want. It might be in the name of leaving the EU or whatever. But what we have to have is, I think we do have to leave the EU, but we have to run things the way we want, not something dictated by America.
What were the arguments back in the day that Jeremy used to make and Tony Benn used to make about leaving the European Union? As I remember, they used to be primarily on democracy issues.
Yes, the European Union is a anti-democratic setup whereby our sovereignty is being eroded and in fact taken away entirely. And the dominant country in the European Union is Germany. So basically we have a German-ruled operation which Britain would be subservient to. So we should leave that and build independent British outlook with wider trade than just the EU and less of the impositions of the European Union. And this is all possible, but it's not instant. You see, Boris Johnson is saying he's got an instant answer, but he hasn't. It will keep us imprisoned under European Union rules anyway, and people should just say no to that. And it's better to carry on without his deal and negotiate something properly. We have to have a new programme for reform of British society, which is what the Labour programme is. Proper investment where it is needed. Proper, state operations such as free prescriptions. Student education being free in universities. All those things are possible, but they've been obscured by this ridiculous argument about are we leaving, are we not? No, I said, look, we are leaving as far as I'm concerned, because that's what's been decided. But it has to be done in an intelligent way. not where we're actually left as prisoners of the EU in the future.
I
Which is
saw
what
that.
Boris is aiming for. See, he doesn't care. Boris's aim is for Boris. It is a monstrosity, but people have to look beyond the talk of Brexit and say, look, what about our living standards? What about our investment in the future? This is what Labour is standing for and what the Tories are scared of. So instead they'll talk about Brexit, Brexit, Brexit. And does my brother believe or not believe? No, he's quite right to say, look, I'm not going to give a view on that. Because one, we don't know what any deal we've got with the EU is going to be. So how can you say you're for and against something before you've negotiated it? And two, he's got the bigger picture in mind, i.e. true prosperity for the British working class, which is the complete opposite of what the Tories want. So anyone who's critical of Labour and what my brother says should just ignore these details and say, look, you're going to vote Labour this time for a better future. And then we can argue, we can still argue about how we relate to the European Union. In my opinion, we should get the hell out of it.
But why is Jeremy different?
Well, he's always fought for working class interests. He's refused 24/7 to take positions in shadow cabinets or whatever, or cabinets, because he realised that there would be a price to pay in what he expressed. He won the leadership election twice on the principles of standing up for interest, and that's what he's done.
And do you think that's the reason why he's been so maligned and attacked?
Well, absolutely, because he's different from all the other leaders around. Completely different. You see, he's voted consistently against the various deals that the EU imposed upon us, namely the Maastricht Treaty and the Lisbon Treaty. The other leaders around haven't, they just either didn't bother to read them, or just cowered down. No, Jeremy does stand for the interest of working people, and that is what the Tory media are dead scared of. That is why they keep having these opinion polls saying Labour's behind. Well, I don't believe them. Labour can win on election day.